This week on Capitol Report, the pain at the pump gets worse.
Governor Lamont, do something!
I don't know what we're yelling about!
Yelling is about the diesel tax, which is going up another 9 cents.
Still the lowest in the region, but it's still a hit.
I mean, I've been punched in the armpit before, and in the wrist twice.
Democrats make a lot of noise over plans to have Nebraska's governor attend a GOP fundraiser in Connecticut.
The issue is that Bob Stefanowski wanted Pete Ricketts standing next to him in Canton tonight.
It's amazing to me that Democrats are so focused on this.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think with flies.
The fight continues to force a Democratic primary in the 1st Congressional District.
We're going to go to court on Friday. Hopefully get a fair hearing, a fair trial.
I say you can do it.
Plus, Senator Richard Blumenthal shifts his re-election campaign into high gear.
Dick Blumenthal delivers for Connecticut.
Order the deviled cheese and sausage. Right here, dude.
And where does Connecticut stand when it comes to ordering sushi?
Akira, my good man. I like 2 sharks, an octopus, and an eel.
Very good.
Order up. Capitol Report starts now. Welcome to Capitol Report. I am Tom Dutchick, and we are so glad you're spending part of this Father's Day morning alongside Brendan Sharkey, former Speaker of the House Democrat, in his New York Yankees tie.
With the tie.
And
unbeatable.
And Star Trek cufflinks, too, huh?
Indeed.
How about
Yes.
that?
Yep.
Johnny Mac, back in the house again.
Back in the house. If I'd known he was wearing a Yankee tie, I would have worn my Mets tie.
Oh, go Mets, guys. All right, guys. Hey, come July 1, Connecticut's tax on diesels going up another 9 cents. Goody gumdrops last Wednesday. Department of Revenue Services, Mark Boughton, gave Connecticut businesses, 15 whole days to absorb the news that the already sky-high prices they're paying to fuel vehicles and equipment will likely cost even more. Diesel prices have dipped slightly in recent weeks, but when you're paying over $6 a gallon, guys, I suppose you do have a little reason to be irked by a tax hike. Gas prices, inflation, it's becoming a massive election issue. Republican Bob Stefanowski going all in on blaming Governor Lamont for the problem. We'll hear from him in a minute, but first, let's hear from Governor Lamont on this. Watch this.
Based upon the legislature's law where they renew or reevaluate what the tax is every year, it's going to go up 9 cents on July 1st. Still the lowest in the region, but it's still a hit. That's why we got the biggest tax cut in history to make life a little more affordable for people. You know, if you're much lower, trucks are all going to come barreling through Connecticut. But that's why we're doing tax cuts for middle-class people. So important.
And the aforementioned Bob Stefanowski spent a lot of money on gas these days, been crisscrossing the state, banging the drum about taxes and inflation, and blaming both President Biden and Governor Lamont for getting us into this inflation mess. Listen to what the fellow Republican State Senator Craig Minor had to say at a recent Stefanowski rally about Governor Lamont's comments on the diesel tax and out-of-state truckers. What's this?
They can talk about out-of-state truckers all they want. This is not about out-of-state trucking. This is about the cost of doing business in Connecticut. Same thing with agriculture. You know, they think it's a big deal because they gave somebody a break because, you know, when they deliver milk, they don't have to pay the tax. Do you realize how much agriculture moves in the state of Connecticut? Billions. And so it just seems that they are focused on the wrong thing.
He's well prepped for this debate, McKinney, and maybe we may even get the gross receipts tax in this discussion at some point.
Oh, my God.
Have at it.
Okay. This is one prop. This is the statute.
There you go.
Okay. The statute was passed 8 years ago in its current version, right? It's not that Ned Lamont or the Democrats are raising taxes. This is the law. This is the way it's always been. It just happens that this is the iteration of what happens this year with that tax. It happens every year. It's set by statute. Here's my other prop. $700 million of tax cuts this year. This is the vote tally on the budget. Guess how many Republicans are on this list voting yes for that budget with the $700 million in tax cuts? 0. My problem is, it's great that Craig Minor and Bob Stefanowski are all up in arms about this now. Where were they? Why did they vote against all the tax decreases that were already in the budget? They voted no.
McKinney, Sharkey's bringing it today. He's bringing it.
Yes, apparently there's a new rule. When you pass a law, you can never change it or amend it. Because 8 years ago, we passed a law. So if things change and the world is completely different, too bad, you have to live with that law. Come on. The reality is
The Republicans argued during session that in addition to suspending the gasoline tax, we should suspend the diesel tax. Governor Lamont and the Democrats chose not to suspend the diesel tax. This is a legitimate issue. The governor said it himself. This is a hit. All of our food, all of our goods and products are delivered to Connecticut or transported within Connecticut by trucks that use diesel fuel. That 10-cent, 9.5, whatever it is, increase is going to be passed on to consumers. We have the highest inflation in 40 years. We have the largest budget surplus and a rainy day fund. It's raining for a lot of people in Connecticut with the costs increasing. They should go into special session, suspend this tax until January 1st, give some people relief.
Well, the policy issue behind this is one thing, and I think it's a legitimate conversation to have. Should this be suspended? You and I voted for a circuit breaker in 2012 when gas came up to $4 a gallon at that point, and everybody was shocked. So, you know, is there a legitimate policy argument? Sure. But why is it that we're only hearing about this now when a letter comes from Mark Boughton to the leaders and the campaign seizes it? Suddenly there's a hue and cry. I didn't hear this hue and cry during session when you had the opportunity to fix that.
Well, because unfortunately when the Republicans get up and scream during session, nobody's paying attention because they don't get the coverage by the media.
All right, guys, so last week, Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts was supposed to come to Canton, Connecticut for a big Bob Stefanowski fundraiser. Ricketts, of course, you know, is a conservative who is pro-gun, pro-life, even calling for a ban on abortions in all cases, including rape and incest. Well, at the last minute, wouldn't you know it, Ricketts bailed, no explanation given, but he did test positive for COVID 2 days later. That aside, Ricketts' stance on abortion is in sharp contrast to Stefanowski, who claims to support Connecticut's abortion laws. The private fundraiser went off as scheduled, and a group of Democrats still came out to protest the event. Watch this.
Bob Stefanowski wanted him here in Connecticut to fundraise for him. And that tells us exactly who Bob Stefanowski is. Bob Stefanowski is part of the new Republican Party, a party that prioritizes guns over women and children.
Here's what Bob Stefanowski had to say about the cancellation when asked about it last Thursday. Watch this.
It's amazing to me that Democrats are so focused on this. We had a mass shooting 2 weeks ago in Texas. People like Phil are struggling to stay in business. And we have the governor from Nebraska canceling an event 2 days ago, and that's what's on people's mind. He had a scheduling conflict. He canceled. We went on with the event. It was a terrific event. We're going to move forward.
McKinney usually duels with Eric Simmons over this issue. You have some pointed feelings on this. We talked about it off camera.
So if I can respond to Rep. Gilchrist, who I respect, maybe Bob Stefanowski wanted Governor Ricketts in here because Governor Ricketts doesn't believe in raising taxes, income taxes on wealthy people. Oh, wait, Governor Lamont agrees with that too. Oh, my goodness. Look, there is intolerance on the left and the right for people who have different positions. Governor Ricketts is pro-life. Brenda and I, we went to Catholic school. We know a lot of people of conscience who are pro-life. We're not. I'm pro-choice. Bob Stefanowski is pro-choice. To say that someone who may support you, all of their views are ascribed to you, is bad. It would make Joseph McCarthy very happy.
Well, I think that Bob Stefanowski stepped in it in that quote you just saw there, because for him to say, I don't understand what the problem is about bringing in the most anti-abortion governor in the entire United States to come and fundraise for him, I think there's a legitimate political question to ask about his common sense. If he's running for governor in Connecticut and he's pro-choice, why? I know he's the head of the RGA nationally, or co-chair, but why would you bring him in? What are who in his campaign thought that this was a good idea to bring in this guy and the optics that would be associated with that? You'd have to know that that's going to be a problem. This is the problem that Republicans face, I think, generally this year, because I think I think they're faced with a lot of these headwinds on these social issues that we're going to start to see.
At least he didn't bring in Andrew Cuomo like you Democrats.
Oh, there you go. All right, Kenny, get the last word here.
Ooh,
hey,
yes.
so when was the last time you saw a Richard Blumenthal campaign ad on TV? Well, Mr. Ubiquitous launched a new 30-second spot last week. Connecticut's senior senator getting a little jump on the 3 Republican challengers who are locked in a vicious primary battle before we know who he'll face in November. If you haven't seen it yet, here's a little sneak peek of that one. Watch this.
He got tax cuts for families like mine to help us pay the bills.
He got skills training for good-paying jobs here at Electric Boat.
Dick Blumenthal worked with Democrats and Republicans to start fixing roads and bridges.
He's taking on the big oil companies for ripping us off, and he is willing to take on any powerful interest.
Guys, Blumenthal up on TV in June. Did someone have some bad internal polling numbers? Gee, he's spending money in June, Sharkey.
Well, the thing about Dick is that he doesn't need TV ads because, as you said, he's ubiquitous.
He's a human television ad.
He is a human television ad. There is the joke is in Democratic and Republican circles, there's not a garage door opening in which Dick does not appear. So and credit to him because he's everywhere. So to the extent that he's doing a TV ad, yeah, it is a bit of a surprise.
Actually,
little jitters?
I think the joke is the most dangerous place in Connecticut is between Dick Blumenthal and a camera. No,
I didn't say that.
Well, we've seen the polling, right? His numbers are the lowest they've ever been. He should take this election seriously, especially if he's going to face off against Themis Klarides. He's got a ton of money, a huge advantage. I think about $10 million, $8 to $10 million. He should be spending it. You can't spend it all in September and October. Very smart for him to be on the air while the Republicans are having an inter-party fight.
And the truth is that Democrats are, I talked about headwinds. The Democrats nationally are facing headwinds this year, just because of the national politics and the state of our economy. So I do think it's wise. It's a prophylactic kind of approach, and I think it makes sense.
All right, guys, up next on Cal Report, giving back to the community and helping children find forever homes. We're going to learn more about the Our Kids Center and chat with News 8's big boss, our pal Rich Graziano, and our friend Natalia from DCF. When we get back, do not go away.